whenever I drive down the road and I see some wood floating around, I stop and I go get it. And this winter, I'm going to do some work that is cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to make some bowls. So I have some ash, I have some walnut, I have some maple. So let's get started. So starting off, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove all this bark and extra stuff. If you remove this with the lathe, it's going to create a lot more dust and debris that you don't need. This plate is mounted into the bowl portion, the inside of the bowl. So ultimately that plate and those screw holes that it's mounted on will get carved away. And then here it's being mounted onto my little DeWalt lathe. And setting the rest to carve the outside of the bowl. So getting these started is always a little hairy. There's some balance issues. The fact that the lathe isn't quite as heavy as it needs to be to kind of absorb all the vibrations. So you'll see it bouncing around a lot. Also, I'm a novice when it comes to this stuff, so maybe I'm not doing it exactly correctly. I'm wearing a glove here because the chips that were flying off of the bowl were starting to scratch up the outside of my hand. So here we go, starting to take shape. I'm leaving the handle portions of this bowl uncut other than being rounded. And yeah, unsurprising, this is dirty work, so protect your lungs, protect your ears, protect your eyes. Okay, so now the bowl is flipped around and mounted to the dovetail jaws. And I'm shaping the lip a little bit before I go into shaping the internal portion of the bowl. Here's a shot of the inside. You want to go from the lip of the bowl down. As you carve away meat from the inside of the bowl, the lip becomes more and more unstable. So you kind of want to carve it and then sand it in a few layers as you go down deeper into the bowl. Here's the bowl all carved out. Right here I'm looking for the cracks and things that are going to be unstable as handles, and then just marking them to make sure that I don't plant a handle in a spot that has a crack. And now I'm planting the handles to hit on some of these like quarter sawn areas. I don't want the grain running directly out from the bowl, and I don't want it running perpendicular to that either. And I'm kind of picking a spot where the grain is diagonal to pick some of the strongest portion of the wood. So here I'm using a bandsaw to cut out most of the waste. Since this cut is unsupported on the bottom, the bandsaw is going to want to tip the bowl towards the saw. So having a really firm grip is important because this is a little bit of a sketchy cut. Yeah, and there's the rough cut of it. Now this is American white ash, which is being devastated right now by the emerald ash borer. It's a bug that's creating all these bug holes. They're eating through the wood and killing the trees outright. So I'm just clearing some of the sawdust from those bug holes. From here, I'm using just a standard plumber style torch and burning the outside of the bowl. This heat application induces some cracks. It burns some of the grain more than the others, so it creates a nice texture on the wood, and ultimately a really cool design. I've been inspired lately by the woodworker on Instagram, Ash and Plum, and they specialize in bowls that look like they were rescued from an ancient Greek shipwreck. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for as well. And there you can see that the bug holes do not burn quite so deeply, so you can kind of see all of them in the finished piece. And really just taking my time going from one direction to the other so I don't cause any major chip out. Ultimately I'm going kind of as deep as the burn or as deep as the bandsaw marks to get those out. The portion on the right hand side of this black bowl that's not really carved was cracked quite heavily, and I didn't feel comfortable doing the carving there, so I left that as more of a natural piece that I was unable to carve, so it's just really part of the character of the bowl. And then this is club wax. I think it's beeswax and mineral oil. Leaves a nice finish that's pleasant to touch. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next week.